Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Ankita and you're watching World Through My Eyes. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about magic. Yes, you heard it right. And the magic I'm going to talk about is the creative magic because I read this book, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert this month, in the beginning of this month. And it's just an amazing book which inspired me to make this video. I just couldn't stop not talking about it. And yes, let's just get to the video. This book talks about how to release our creative energy, which we usually confine it within ourselves, which kind of stops us from living our authentic creative life. And there are ways, there are things which Elizabeth Gilbert has mentioned in the book, which is just eye-opening. So one of the very first thing which she writes is considering creativity as some divine entity. So she's saying that you are not creative. Like creativity is a divine entity which comes to you from some other source. This is where the magical thing is. So she's saying it's some other person. It comes to you and it chooses you because it thinks that you are the right pathway for it to come out to the world. So that entity knocks your door and waits for you to acknowledge, and once you acknowledge, it comes through you out to the world. So it's such an interesting thing that you don't take the burden of being creative. You don't have to think about whether what the result would be, whether it's good or bad. What you have to do is to just do the work and just become a pathway for this creative work to flow through you. She also mentions that with an example in the book where she had this idea about writing a book about Amazon jungle, um, and she did all the research about the book, and she had to start it because but due to some personal issue she couldn't write it. The idea waited, I mean that creative entity waited for her to put it out to the world for 2 years. But after 2 years, when she got back, after solving her personal problems, when she got back to the book, she just felt that it has gone away. And such an interesting thing, she said that it will not wait for you forever, it will find another person. And she could meet the person who had the similar idea, very similar idea, and that person wrote the book. It is such a magical thing to talk about, right? I mean, it comes to you, it waits for you. If you are not there, it goes to another person and it just finds a way to get to the world. So whenever it comes to us, we should embrace it and be the vessel. The next thing she talks about the fact that when you're a creative person, that creativity comes along with the fear. And she's saying that just acknowledge the presence of the fear when you're along with the creative entity. So she talks about something called the road trip, where you are the driver, creativity is sitting next to you, and fear is sitting behind. So she's saying that you have to take fear along with yourself everywhere, so that you're not getting overwhelmed. But what she's emphasizing is that you have to strip away all its power. So you don't have to listen to it. So the fear doesn't get to control anything. So you listen to the fear, whatever the fear is saying, but take your own call. You and the creativity are the driver. So that is also something amazing, right? I mean, you don't have to think about what will happen. You are the decision maker. Just let fear be. The next thing she talks about in the book is the fact that creativity is not at all related to suffering. So she's saying that why is there a world perception that a creative person or an artist has to go through years of pain and suffering and put that out in the world? For example, when she told this to Brene Brown, who is another author, and when she heard about this, she kind of tried to implement it in her work. So she was writing a very, very intense book, and she realized that she's not a very good she's a very good orator. She likes public speaking, but when it comes to writing, she couldn't put that thinking down to the paper. So she went to a beach house, took two of her assistants there, and they had a blast where she was talking and her assistants were typing out her words. And though the book was serious, this whole process was a fun thing because it was kind of a beach vacation, and she realized that she doesn't need to suffer to bring out anything to the world. You can make it enjoyable. With that, I want to talk about the work which I'm trying to do, right? So I wanted to have my own YouTube channel from past 3 years, now 4 years actually. And I always used to think that, am I ready? Am I perfect? Do I have the content? Can I shoot? Do I have equipment? I don't know editing. And I wasted 3 years to make the videos. Even now, I'm not ready. But after reading this book, I did hear this book last year. I was just like, irrespective of whatever happens, let's just get on board and let's just start making videos, and just for the heck of it, because I want to make it and I don't care what views or subscribers I'm getting, because if I'm enjoying the process, result will come, if not today, after years. But I'm not worried about that result. I'm enjoying this process of recording and thinking and researching and editing. Everything is a learning process for me. So she also tells to come back to our home whenever we are directionless. And the home, she means, is the place which you love more than you love yourself. She's talking about the work, the vocation, the creative work. So there are times when somebody is extremely successful with the past work, and the person thinks that there cannot be better than this, so why proceed, right? I'll just give up. And then there is other extreme that, oh, I'm not good enough, this work will never see the light of the day, why should I continue, let's just give up. And in the between, there is your home, where you are supposed to do the work which you love. So she's saying, whenever you are tending towards to be in this extreme end, come back to your home. Come back to your home and do your work. Just get back to it and do your 30 minutes or 20 minutes of work on a daily basis. That's it. You are supposed to let the work out. So that's it for today's video. I hope you got some interesting points to take away from this video, and I highly, highly, highly recommend for you all to go and read this book, because this is just a life-changing book, and it will inspire you to take up those hobbies and artistic work which you always wanted to do but couldn't because of various reasons. Just start it. Whatever happens for good. You're just learning on the way, right? So yes, that's all from my end. Thank you for watching. See you next time.